Welcome back. In our last video, we answered the first in a series of questions on real estate. We discovered that the costs to maintain a home are not a factor when determining the equity and cash value of real estate. They do become a factor when the asset produces rental income, however. We will discuss that in a bit. First of all, in this case, it seems pretty clear that the real estate should be treated as an asset with asset income rather than as business income. We say this because Exhibit 5-2 of the HUD Handbook says that if a person's main business is real estate, then count any income as business income. Under paragraph 5G of, 5.6G of that chapter. But do not count it as both an asset and business income. So it's either going to be an asset with asset income or it's going to be a business treated as self-employment in essence. However, in this case, a personal home that someone owns that they're just renting out is not likely to be considered their main business, and it would not meet the test to be treated as a business, so we're going to probably treat it as real estate. In our last video, we discussed how to calculate the asset equity and cash value, and we will follow those steps for rental properties as well to establish a value on the property. However, how should we treat the income from the asset? Well, again, Exhibit 5-1 of the HUD Handbook tells us that we count the net income from any kind of personal or real property. Unlike other income streams where we generally use the gross income, we need to establish the net income from rental property. We do start with the gross income, however. That would be the rent received. Then we deduct allowable expenses. Now, Appendix 6-C of the HUD Handbook provides some examples of allowable expenses, including taxes, insurance, premiums, reasonable maintenance and utilities, and monthly interest expenses on a mortgage. It also mentions that we can look to the Schedule E for information. This Schedule E lists the gross rental income as well as all of the allowable deductions and also lists the net income. Now, we started out mentioning that the maintenance fees on a rental property are not taken away from the market value to get the cash value, but they do come into play if there is income from the property. Now, to help our clients keep this straight, the printed version of this newsletter carries a handy chart which is an excerpt from one of our training manuals. It helps separates the types of information necessary to determine the value of real estate and the asset and any income. We only need to gather information on the right column dealing with the income when the real estate is being rented out. Now, for the remainder of the videos in this series, we will discuss what happens when residents dispose or sell real estate through seller finance mortgages, foreclosure, or short sales. We'll see you in a bit.